There have been some COVID-19 outbreaks in a couple of sports. In college football, you had the Rutgers football team they had a coronavirus outbreak. They had 15 players that tested positive, part of the Rutgers football team. Team workouts got shut down. The entire team has been quarantined. And we actually saw a similar story at Michigan State as well, where the team got quarantined. Now, apparently, the outbreak at Rutgers has been linked to an on-campus party. And this has been my major concern about college football the entire way, where I used to live in a college town. I lived in Pullman, Washington, which is where Washington State's football team is. I also actually played college football myself. And let me tell you, college football players are going to party. Like, no matter, even Gardner Minshew is my favorite college football player of all time. That dude partied. He partied hard. College athletes party, and you're not going to stop it. No coach has absolute control and can control his entire roster and get his team to stop partying. It's just not true. And one of the problems that college football has right now and in general is that you're not paying the players. So with coronavirus, you have way less control. You can't tell them what to do and what not to do because they're probably not actually going to entirely listen. It only takes one player to go to a party, go hang out at a kickback, go do this or that, even go to the grocery store the wrong way, get coronavirus, and infect your entire team. My point is, it's hard to stop an entire football team in college from doing something. You have less control because you're not paying them. Now, Major League Baseball also had a major outbreak. The Miami Marlins have had 19 positive coronavirus tests between players and coaches. And they've had 5 games postponed so far. They haven't played a game since last Sunday. And I don't know that they're playing a game anytime soon either yet. Now, apparently in Miami's case, some of the players went out nightclubbing or out on the town at night in Atlanta during a team trip for 2 summer game scrimmages right before the season started. So we also have not only college football's got problems, the MLB's got problems. Actually, in the NFL, I read a story this morning that Minnesota wide receiver Justin Jefferson was placed on a reserve COVID-19 list, meaning that he either has COVID-19 or he's been in contact with somebody who also has COVID-19. So either has it or has been in contact with people who do have it. And so coronavirus is everywhere. It's in every sport right now, except for basketball. If you notice, it's been weeks since the NBA had a positive coronavirus test. Why is that? Well, it's pretty obvious. They're all in a bubble in Orlando. If you're playing currently in the season, you're in Orlando at Walt Disney World in a quarantined bubble. You're not going to get the virus because of that. And the bubble's working. Again, it's been weeks since anybody tested positive. So the bubble works. Maybe other sports could use the bubble. I think if the NFL can find a way to feasibly do it, I don't know that you can have there can't be an NFL bubble the same way there's an NBA bubble because roster size are so much bigger. You can't find a facility big enough to house the entire NFL, all 32 teams and the coaches and all the organizations. You could maybe find a local hotel that could house a hotel in Buffalo for the Buffalo Bills, a hotel in Baltimore for the Baltimore Ravens, a hotel in Denver to hold the entire Denver Broncos coaching staff. Maybe, just maybe, that could work. But in my opinion, you can't do things the same way the NBA is done if you're the NFL. But here's the lesson in all this to me, in my opinion. It's that change is hard. One of my favorite books about change, and there are, by the way, thousands and thousands, if not millions of books about the idea of life change. And the reason why there's so many books is because changing your life is really hard. My favorite book is called Change or Die. And that's just in case you care. I'm not going to go into some spiel about Change or Die. It's just a great book. But the point is that athletes are going to need to change their behavior if sports are going to work this fall. COVID-19 is awful. It's not fun. None of us wanted this. I hate wearing a stupid mask. It's uncomfortable. My ears stick out way too much. I can't breathe properly. It's not fun. Nobody likes the mask. Nobody likes not being able to go out. But they're also important. That whole changing your life and changing your behavior because of coronavirus is necessary. And really, in my opinion, the mindset surrounding COVID-19 needs to change. If you're an athlete, then you want to go to work and home, and that's it. You go to work, you drive from your house to work, then you drive from work to your house, and those are the only two places you are until coronavirus is over, at least until your season is over. You go to practice or your game and your house. I could not be more clear about that. You can't go out, no parties, no nightclubs, no going out. You got to change your behavior if you're an athlete involved in your season. People want to live as if coronavirus doesn't exist, and I totally understand that. There's pushback, there's frustration. None of us chose to be in the situation we are with coronavirus. It's awful, it's frustrating, it's annoying. But it's also reality. And you have to deal in reality. You can't deal in hopes and desires. So mindsets need to change. Behavior is going to need to change. You go to work and you go home. That's it. You live basically in your own self-quarantine bubble. If you're an athlete, you're wealthy enough to get your groceries delivered, to pay another person to clean your groceries, wipe them down. The NFL season's on its way. And if there's no NFL bubble or if players don't self-quarantine, then it's not going to work. You have to change your behavior. Plain and simple. You got to change your mindset. You got to accept reality that coronavirus is a real thing and it's impacting your season. And you got to change your behavior. And if that stuff doesn't happen, then not only is college football not going to happen, which I think is doomed from the beginning, I think baseball might have problems if they don't start waking up and go, oh, crap, we can't nightclub. We can't go out. This is very serious. And the NFL certainly is not going to happen unless people start changing their mindsets and changing their behavior. It's a tough reality. I don't like it. It's not fun. I feel like I'm scolding people. I don't like giving that message, but it also is really important. If changes aren't made, and it can't be like the NFL needs to change. No, coaches and players need to change. They need to change their habits and accept that they have to live differently. If the behavior isn't changed and that reality, the new reality of coronavirus isn't accepted, then sports are not going to work this fall.